Good morning, Americans and humans. This is your favorite alien with a special comment on today, Monday, September 5th, 2022. And today's commentary is called Coliseum, Epilogue. Those of you who view the History Channel have known that for the last couple of weeks, the History Channel on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock were carrying the Coliseum, a special series. And most of you that watched it probably don't understand it. What they've done is taken the Coliseum from its start with Vespasian through its inauguration with Titus, then all the way to Trajan, and then they went to Marcus Aurelius and his son Commodus, and then to AD 395 with a senator named Contius, I guess, who promoted the last games. And they tried to tell you through that series why, through the Coliseum, how the Roman Empire disintegrated. And the last show is where the United States stands today. AD 395 is equal to today. This is 82 years since 313 AD, when Emperor Constantine declared that Christianity was the legal religion of the empire. Now, the empire was under a slow decline under Commodus. He started it, and it never recovered from him. And by the end of 395, it was just a shell of itself. The Roman people were, there was more, how would you say, barbarians and slaves than Roman people. The Roman way of doing things was just in a few people's memories, like Seneca, the senator, who all through his life tried to bring back the old Roman ways, which were dead a long time ago. So, in 395 AD, you had two emperors of Rome, one in the east and one in the west. And it was so bad that the one in the west had moved to Milan. Okay? You understand me, Americans? Now, let me paraphrase that problem that you had there. You had shortages of food. Rome was 1 million people, and by that time it was disintegrating, probably maybe 100,000 people. So 1/10 of the population that was there in Commodus' time was only there in 395 AD. The Western Emperor was based out of Milan, the Eastern Emperor Constantinople. And they were both having problems controlling the invasion of the barbarians. Now, the emperors from 313 to 395 were all Christian. Ugh. And that's not a knock on the Christianity, but it is in a sense because you guys messed up the world for 1,500 years. You threw it into a dark age, and you don't understand that. And the problem with the Roman Emperor was he had a general who was a barbarian himself. But he controlled the other barbarians. It was an uneasy alliance. Well, yeah. And how do you say this relates to the U.S. today? Well, Rome could hardly afford to do anything the way it used to under Commodus, or the emperors before him, because it didn't have any money, and it was taxed to hell. Okay? There was riots all over the street every single day in Rome in 395 AD. Seneca thought that bringing the games back would satisfy the people like it did back in the old days. But that's because you had the Coliseum meaning something. It meant Roman power, Roman way of doing things. And the Roman saying, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. In 395, the Romans found out that proverb was true to them too. You live by the sword and you die by the sword. And how does this relate to the U.S.? Well, in 395 AD, the Romans were all over the city, taking anything pagan statues out. Does that remind you of the Confederacy and the crazy people who are destroying the Confederacy statues? Yes? Shortages of food. You're starting to feel that today, aren't you? The emperor was not in Rome anymore. And there was a split between Constantinople and Rome as far as Roman power. Here, you got a split. Mar-a-Lago and Delaware, not Washington, D.C. Because that's where your president likes to spend more time, in Delaware than he does in Washington, D.C. Hence the parallel. You got a lot of anarchists and rioters all over your cities in the United States over something so simple. Oh, some black guy gets killed. Yeah, you're going to do murder. Businesses get broken into. Yeah, that's what happened to Rome. A Roman citizen got killed. Oh, yeah, And there, because Sentius was a senator, and the elite was the only thing that kept Rome together at the time, just barely. The people started to go after him. So wherever he was in the city, boy, the mobs would say, oh, there he is, let's go get him, yoo-hoo! Kind of like what you're trying to do to President Trump, huh? There he is, let's go get him, yoo-hoo! But the emperor at the time had no power on the Western Empire over in Milan. And all they could do was do edicts. He couldn't enforce them, but they were somehow enforced by the locals. But as far as his power, nah, not there anymore. Same with Mr. Biden. His power, not there anymore. You see states splitting up into red and blue, pro and con this. And this is what you got. Same thing as 395 AD. Well, Sanchez had his games in 395. He spent a lot of money to fix the Coliseum, which was in disrepair, hadn't been used for decades. And to bring things back. I mean, it cost a lot of money in 395 more to bring things back than when Rome was a powerhouse in 192. Yeah. So, the games were a disaster because you got this bishop from the east that came in and disrupted the games. Sure, he got stoned to death by the crowd. Oh boy. Yeah. But the emperor got a hold of this in Milan and permanently ordered the closure of all gladiatorial games. Period. No more. That was okay. Because let me tell you how it ended, Americans, and how you're going to end. 395 was a disastrous year. 7 years later, Sanchez died a broken man. They said he died of he got sick No, he was a broken man after his games and what he fought the Roman. He's tried to bring the Romans back, and there was no sense in bringing them back. It's like Trump saying, America first. There was never an American first. And the Rome that Sanchez looked for was not there anymore. It was never there. It was just a figure of his imagination. Same with you Trumpers. A figure of your imagination about America. It was never there. Okay? You guys got more illegal aliens and more other citizens here than you do regular citizens. Your life expectancy and your birth rate on your locals, that means Anglo-Saxons, is degrading real fast. In 395, it was like that. In 402, Sanchez died. That year, the general that commanded the Roman armies was killed by the emperor, who thought, he's not Christian enough for me. Yeah, pagan. Same with you Trumpers and you guys from Trump. Leftists, extremes, and extreme rightists. You guys are following the same route that Rome did in 395. And by 410, the Goths invaded Rome. Rome limped along till 1476 when the last emperor was disposed. Yeah, but there was no empire really after 395. Thus, Americans, you'll have no United States after 2024 because of the way you're acting, just like the Romans did in Rome in 395 through 410. This is your favorite alien saying, the only ones you got to blame is yourselves. Just like the Romans, the only ones they had to blame for their downfall is themselves. Good day.